I'm Mark Schillero, the owner of MS Classic Cars. Today, I'm sitting behind the wheel of an absolutely stunning 1967 Sunbeam Tiger Mark IA that carries a Sunbeam Tigers Owners Association Certificate of Authenticity, which has been numbered 1005. To start off this video here, this is a non-rehearsed video. There's a lot of information to learn about this particular car. I'm sure I'm going to forget things throughout this presentation, so please visit msclassiccars.com for a complete description with tons of photos. We really go above and beyond with our presentations, especially our photos. We cover every square inch of the car so you can clearly see it. So again, make sure to visit it on our website at msclassiccars.com. If you have or have not been following us, you will know that I only collect #1 and #2 condition vehicles. I handpick every vehicle that I purchase, like this vehicle that I'm sitting in today. We are the only classic car dealership in the country who services every vehicle we sell. If you check out our service facility on our website, you will clearly see how beautiful it is. We have 4 full-time mechanics, including a service manager. We go through all of these cars from top to bottom, and we make sure they're in great working order. We document all of that service work with an invoice that we include to show everything that has been done. So as an example, this particular car here, we've invested $4,051 in the service work. I don't care who restores these cars, whether they're factory correct or whether they're custom, all vehicles need to be sorted out. So we do that to make the new owner have a pleasurable experience. We also go through these cars methodically when we detail them. We just don't detail, you know, some of the car. We do the entire vehicle, exterior, interior, engine compartment, and undercarriage to present the best product that we possibly can. And we're very proud to say that we recently just became a G-Technic ceramic coating dealership, so we will be offering that to our clients as well. So the first thing I'd like to do in this video here, before I forget, is I want to give a shout out to the 2 people that are responsible for this restoration here in this magnificent car. So the first thing, I'm going to reference some of my notes here. Steve Bernheim of California, he's the gentleman who I actually purchased it from. He's the one who bought it. He's the one who kind of orchestrated it. He commissioned it with a gentleman by the name of Avik, Avedisian of A&B Racing, and he's in California as well. So again, I give them both a lot of credit for doing a magnificent job. This is definitely one of the best Sunbeam Tigers I've seen, and it's extremely authentic, and I'll get into that in a minute. Regarding the restoration, we do have a ton of receipts, which I've included in this brand new binder. I make brand new binders for every car I sell. I put all the receipts in methodical order. There's a thumb drive here that has all of the pictures of the restoration before the car was restored, during the restoration, after the restoration. Really cool that all that information is included. Sometimes with these cars, you don't always get as much detailed information. So, the first thing I'm going to do before I give you the whole story about this particular car is I'm going to get into some information that I pulled off of Wikipedia. They really do a good job on Wikipedia of kind of summing up the important factors of every car. I've included this within our photo gallery, but I'm going to read it really quickly just in case you don't know much about the Sunbeam Tiger. And again, I am by no means an expert with Sunbeam Tigers. I just have always wanted one. We've never had one here at the dealership, so I'm super excited about this particular car. We do have another one that I acquired recently, a 1964, that's going to be more customized than what this one is here today. But I'm proud to say that I actually own two Sunbeam Tigers, the two of the first. So this article here says the Sunbeam Tiger is a high-performance V8 version of the British Routes Group Sunbeam Alpine Roadster, designed in part by American car designer and racing driver Carroll Shelby, and produced from 1964 to 1967. Shelby had carried out a similar V8 conversion on the AC Cobra and hoped to be offered the contract to produce the Tiger at his facility in the U.S. Roots decided instead to contract the assembly work to Jensen at West Bromwich in England and pay Shelby a royalty on every car produced. So these cars have unbelievable heritage with Carroll Shelby. So cool. This car obviously came in two versions, the Mark I, the Mark II. The Mark I was the earlier cars. They were outfitted with the 260 V8. The later cars, which are Mark IIs, they were outfitted with the 289 V8. So at the bottom here of this article, it says production ended in 1967, soon after Routes Group was taken over by Chrysler, which did not have a suitable engine to replace the Ford V8. Owing to the ease and affordability modifying the Tiger, there are a few remaining cars in standard form. So what they're saying is there's not many of these cars available that are restored to original condition like this car is here today. Getting into the production numbers, I went online. There's multiple sites that offer these numbers. This happens to be tigersunited.com. I included this in the photo gallery as well. What this does is I highlighted total production numbers. I went even down to the nitty-gritty here. So the first thing is a total amount of 7,085 were produced. That's how much they produced altogether. Again, that's a really low number when you think about it. But as far as the MK1A is concerned, these vehicles were produced from August 7, 1965 to February 9, 1966. Only 2,706 were made. So this vehicle here is one of only 2,706. Down here, there's more statistics as well. Again, you can see this on our website very clearly in the photo gallery. So, getting into this particular car here, the first thing I'll mention is there's an email here, which is pretty cool. It's included. This is actually on a website. This is a forum for Tigers and so forth, and there's some information about this particular member who is actually selling this car that we're sitting in here today at an auction called Russo and Steel. That information is included as well. There's a consignment number, the VIN number. It was in Newport Beach. They went into this whole description about this particular car. What the long and short of it is this was a very original car before the restoration. So you can see in this photo here, that's the car. It even says here carrying a lot of original patina, and it goes into some of the details and so forth. It even claims, you know, the vehicle having all its original sheet metal, its original motor, and color combination and everything else. So this was a very special car. So Steven, again, he's the gentleman I bought it from. He's the one who commissioned the restoration. He knew he found something special at this auction. He paid almost $60,000 for this car before the restoration even started. So you can only imagine how much money time goes into a restoration of this caliber. So he took the car back. Again, A&B Racing did a great job. They stripped everything off the car, took it down to bare metal, which all the photos documented the restoration, and they started from, you know, scratch, so to speak. So they did an absolutely beautiful job. Again, I have the bill of sale from the auction. I have all of these receipts. There's pictures. There's everything that somebody who is a collector would love to have. Now, probably the most important factor of a Sunbeam Tiger is getting this Sunbeam Tigers Owners Association Certificate of Authenticity. What this does is it clearly is looked at by, you know, judges, people who are qualified, experts in the field, whatever you want to refer to them as. The serial number, the model number, the color. It even documents the license plate number at the time, the engine number, the color. And again, I find this to be really important. ID tags are fixed with original rivets. They circled yes. Most of the time, at least from all the vehicles that I have seen with Sunbeam Tigers, the answer there is no. So this tag has never been off this car. Very impressive, because that tag is the serial number and it also gives the color. Let's talk about the color for a minute. Besides getting into some of the history, which I'm going to go into in a minute, this particular vehicle here was actually painted polar white, which is code 108, which is a Mark II color. But because this is a very, very late production car, being an MK1A, it was actually painted this color from the factory. So it's very rare to find a vehicle that's an MK1 with this particular color paint. So I definitely want to make note of that. So once the car was bought and everything was gone through and the restoration started, one of the other important factors about this car is it actually has California black plates. Those plates are pictured within our photo gallery. They're included with the car, and to document those plates, we have original registrations dating back until 2003, again in California. So people sometimes wonder, what's the big deal about California black plates? Well, those plates follow the car. As long as the car stays in California, you buy the car, you sell the car, the next owner gets those plates. So to have California black plates just basically means that the car spent its life in California, which again is really cool because California is a state that has great weather. A lot of the cars are rust-free, like this car was prior to the restoration. So again, when you have all of this type of documentation, it's just something that really means a lot when you're buying a higher-end classic car. So let's get into a little bit of the details as far as the car is concerned. I'm going to use and reference maybe some of these notes as I go through this presentation, but starting with the exterior body. All of the sheet metal on this car is original to the car. Any vehicle that has original sheet metal, that is a really cool deal, especially being something that's of this age. There is no documentation to truly support that this vehicle did originally have some LAT, which is the Los Angeles Tiger dealer added accessories. We do have this catalog here, which clearly goes over this. So kind of think of it like a Shelby. What happened was this particular company had all of these parts. We're talking about, you know, Sunbeam Tiger Super Induction kits. We're talking about oil pans. We're talking about all sorts of things, scatter shields. We're talking about valve covers and all sorts of things. When you look to the back here, we talk about the hood. They had a hood that was called an LAT 79 Fiberglass Engine Hood, which was an option. So Steve had made the decision during the restoration to add a LAT 79 hood, which is what you see here on this car today. It really gave the car a little bit of character. Definitely a great addition. But what he did is he saved the original hood. So the original hood is refinished. It's painted at the same time that the car was actually painted during the restoration. It's beautiful. At MS Classic Cars, we actually bought a hardtop stand. We leaned the hood on the stand, we strapped it down and so forth. So the new owner can keep that hood with the vehicle, roll it around. If you ever decide that you want to add that hood, this hood can be taken off. The new hood, the original hood can be added with no problem at all. So I just want to make sure that I make mention of that. So again, we have all the original sheet metal. The body was worked extremely beautiful. It's very, very straight. These cars did not have the best of gaps from the factory. I think they did a really nice job making all of the gaps better than the factory ever did. I definitely give a lot of credit to A&B for doing all of that work and so forth. And the paint job on this vehicle is absolutely spectacular. The paint is definitely a show quality paint job. And again, it retains its original color of polar white. Again, code 108. Getting into the rest of the exterior. All of this glass that you see here, because again, this was a very original car prior to the restoration. That's documented in the auction listing from Russo and Steel. This was a very, very authentic car to begin with. Again, the ID tag was never even taken off this car. So all of the glass, I'm referring to the front windshield, these two vent windows and the windows here, all have the original factory stamps. The glass is not perfect, but it's in really nice condition. Rather than replacing all the glass, Steve had thought it would be a good idea to keep the original glass, clean it up a little bit, and again, keep some of that originality to the vehicle. Everything else on the exterior was restored or replaced. I'm talking about items like the windshield wiper arms. I'm talking about the front grille area there with the emblem in the center. I'm talking about the Tiger side molding that runs down the side. Talking about like this mirror here. Talking about the door handles. Talking about the bumpers. Everything that's on the exterior of this car has been restored or replaced again to a very high quality. Now, last but not least, as far as the exterior is concerned, you will notice the wheels on this car are very different than what you would see on a factory Sunbeam Tiger. Getting into the wheels, also with LAT, they offered a very unique custom wheel, which I would like to find this page if I could here, which is right here. They refer to them again as LAT 70. They were a polished aluminum wheel, and they had a spinner in the center of the wheel with a Sunbeam Tiger logo in the center cap. So he ordered these. Again, I'm referring to Steve, why the restoration was being done. He ordered these and also put brand spanking new. I'm going to get you the exact details here on the tires. They're actually Michelin Defender 185 60/15 inch tires, so they're brand spanking new. The wheels are brand spanking new. Again, he wanted to give this vehicle some of the LAT appointments, and I'm going to go into in another minute or two when I get into the engine bay, some thoughts that I have personally on this car regarding LAT. So I'm kind of glad that he actually did the things that he did, and I'll explain that in a minute. But getting back to the wheels, the original wheels that were on the car that were pictured in the Russo and Steel auction listing, those wheels which are original to the car are included. They were painted as they were from the factory to match the exterior color. They also fabricated the center stainless caps. Those are included. Those wheels are also wrapped with tires. Again, those are mounted, they're balanced. If somebody wanted to take these wheels and tires off, they could easily put on the new wheels and tires that originally came on the car. Again, you can take off this hood if you want as well and give it more of the original appearance. Steve, myself personally, and probably most people think the car definitely looks better with this hood and with these wheels. So again, wanted to make sure that I clarified all of that. Getting into the interior. The interior of this car is absolutely beautiful. From all of the receipts that I went through and everything I could see, I will go on record and say, I think this entire interior is new. The rear view mirror is in beautiful condition. The dash pad is beautiful. The wood trim is beautiful. All of these gauges, which are correct gauges, were sent out. There's receipts of this. All the gauges were restored. It's got the Lucas amps gauge here. It's got a Smith's clock that is in working order. Again, everything from all of the hardware to the dash, all the material, everything is in absolutely beautiful condition. It's got this beautiful wood steering wheel. The door panels are new, all the hardware is new. These seats have been completely redone, these bucket seats, they're super comfortable. All the carpeting, everything in this interior is new. One comment that I would like to make, which I guess was a really big deal, I learned this from Steve when I was buying the car, it has, which is functioning, what they refer to as a Bendix radio. Sunbeam Tiger people will know that right on the radio itself it says Sunbeam all transistor. From what I've gathered, this is a very, very rare item. It's like new condition. It's in working order. It also has a custom OEM center speaker console. So it's got this really, really cool console that's got this storage compartment. It's got the ashtray here and everything else. So again, all of that is worth mentioning in this listing. Getting into the trunk compartment. The trunk compartment was actually painted same color as the body. It has that front, black curtain, so to speak, that's in the front. It also has black panels back there, which look really nice. The piece that lifts up, which attaches to the back side of the deck lid, that has new carpeting on it, but that is the original wood covering for the back. It does have a full-size spare tire, which the wheel and the tire, which those are 13-inch, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. That matches the original wheels that were on the car. I noticed when I looked back there, we had all of our jack assemblies. There's 2 tool. Those are original tool pouches. Those are very, very valuable. Make sure to look at all of that in our photo gallery. I took pictures of that out of the car so you could clearly see it. And it also has a very correct style specialty battery in the back as well. Steve made kind of a big deal of a lot of these items that aren't typically found in these Sunbeam Tigers. When we get into the engine bay, you will clearly see in this video here today, from the pictures that we've taken, the engine compartment is absolutely spectacular. Hands down, one of the best I've ever seen. Obviously, it was all painted body color. That engine that's in this vehicle is a 260 V8. It's an original matching numbers motor. That is the motor that this car was born with. Now, remember earlier when I had mentioned that I was going to talk a little bit about the LAT? Well, here's the deal. The LAT catalog, this is just my observation, okay? This is not documented information. This is just my observation. That engine, they would give you parts to modify. So, as an example, they gave you the Sunbeam Tiger Super Induction kit. This here, this intake and this carburetor were on this car when Steve bought it. Now, when we serviced the car, we looked at inside the motor. Everything had obviously been completely rebuilt at some point prior to the restoration. Whoever did it did a really nice job. There's a couple of things here which make us very curious, and that item here that stand out to me, which I'm going to flip through. Sorry for the paperwork I got to go through here to get to this, but they have this, which is a high-performance camshaft. This car definitely has a high-performance cam in it. So if this vehicle, here's my thought, if this vehicle was being sold as a very original car at the auction that had a lot of original patina, you think to yourself, it had the original hood, it had the original wheels, it really didn't have anything to do with LAT, but it had the LAT intake. It also had the LAT carburetor, which is an authentic carburetor, which I'm going to get into another minute because we actually took that off the car. We're including it. We put on a more modern style carburetor, which I'll talk about. But getting back to it, and you think about it and say, it's got a camshaft. So at some point, because this car was in California, LAT was in California, I think there's a chance, I'm going to say it's maybe a 50-50 chance that this car was modified by LAT back when it was new or when it was, earlier on in its life, one of those kind of deals. So, because all of that was done during the restoration, Steve added the correct style valve covers that would have been supplied at LAT. He ordered those, which are actually on this list here. You can see these in here as well. They refer to them as LAT8, which are Sunbeam Tiger Valve Covers. So he put those on, and I think it was a great idea to finish off the car with the hood and with the LAT wheels. So again, really special deal. Definitely was worth mentioning. Now, getting into the carburetor. Again, we removed that carburetor because it was an original style Holley 4-barrel carburetor. They're a little bit temperamental, they're harder to start, harder to get to perform correctly. We added this quick fuel Slayer 450 CFM carburetor, which works awesome. To give you an example, this car had not been started in probably 2 weeks. I literally pushed it outside before we did this video, turned the key, pumped the fuel a couple times, and it started up instantly. I let it sit at high idle for a minute or two, kicked it, went right down below 1,000 RPMs. It purrs like a kitten. So I think we made a really good choice in MS Classic cars to change the carburetor. And again, the original carburetor that came with the car is included and pictured within our photo gallery. So this engine obviously was completely rebuilt. It runs really good. It sounds super out the dual exhaust system with the chrome tips. The engine is coupled to the original 4-speed transmission, which shifts absolutely beautifully. The power is transferred to the pavement through the rear end. I believe that rear end was also rebuilt. If you look at the undercarriage of this car, during the restoration, they made the decision, since it was like that when they got it, they think that it probably was undercoated at some point, whether it was done factory or whether it was done at the dealer. I'm not really sure. Again, I'm not an expert with Tigers and don't know all the exact details, but I know that they wanted to finish it like it was when they got it. So they re-shot the whole entire undercarriage with rust-proofing material. It's more of a textured paint that's used for better durability and things like that. Of course, all the suspension, all the steering components, all the braking components, everything came off the car. Everything was restored or replaced. Everything was put back on. Again, there's pictures that document all of this that are going to be included with the car. They did a super nice job on the undercarriage. Again, I really can't say enough about how beautiful this car is. So I'll say it one more time: to find a collector car, something that has low production numbers, something that has a lot of authenticity. Again, certifications of authenticity are always important from experts. A vehicle that retains all of its original sheet metal, its original color combination, its original drivetrain. It just doesn't get any better than that. And when you have a Sunbeam Tiger that is equipped with some LAT appointments, it just puts the icing on the cake. So we appreciate you watching this video. If you have not signed up for our MS Classic Cars VIP email blast, please do so. We have thousands of people that are signed up for that. It's the best way to stay in contact with the dealership. If you do not follow us on social media, please do. We're on all the social media networks. Once again, it's one car, one customer at a time. We are definitely not the largest dealership, by no means, but we really believe that we do it better than anybody else, and we'd love to show you why. So we appreciate you watching this. I'm going to go ahead and start up this vehicle, let you listen to how beautiful it runs. Again, fires right up, purrs like a kitten. Listen to this baby roar. Thanks for watching.